Oh no, it's me. Oh no.
You screwed up the format, man.
Oh no.
I was all ready to go, hey, Jamie, how you doing?
I know. I was like expecting Jamie. This is not Jamie.
No. You're so not Jamie. You're like
I'm not. I am not.
You're half a Jamie.
I wouldn't say that, but okay.
Hey, he is a big teddy bear. He is a big man.
I'm a medium teddy bear. There he is.
There he is. We did it reverse. We did it reverse. Mustafa was boom on the clock, and then you came in fashionably late.
Oh, of course.
I mean, it's 2. He's on time. It's fine.
Well, what time is it? 2:00? Yeah, I guess I'm on time. Somewhat.
Yeah.
Works for me. Works for me. We need to do a little thing, a little animation where there's a little knock at the door whenever people join us. That would be cool. Hopefully
That would be
Eric's
cool.
listening and he can make that happen.
Oh yeah.
Good afternoon or good morning, depends on where you're watching us, somewhere in the world. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Stephen Ahola from MBartist, and around the clock, we are the creators of MBartist. And Andre says hello. Andre, what time is it in Germany? Let me know, because we're glad that you joined us. This is how it works, guys. We are artists from different things. We got Mustafa Musa. I'm pointing the wrong way. He is inker, DC, and Marvel, and he said, that's all I have to say. That's it. That's all. Marvel and DC, that's all you need to know. Everything else
there's a lot of others, but, it's fine.
It's only a 2-hour show.
Exactly.
And then down below, the man of the villains. The man of the villains, Jamie Coker. How you doing, my friend?
I am good. I'm good.
Andre says it's 2001.
That's the year.
Andre is so behind. He's so far away. He is roughly 20 years behind. But we're glad he joined us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is how it works. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook, and we are also on the Collector's Toy Shop. We are going to chat amongst ourselves, but we want to hear from you and ask us some questions. Anything you want to know. That's what keeps this moving along quickly. And every time you ask a question, you will get a ticket. Word escaped for a moment there. You'll get a ticket into a draw to win one of our fabulous featured art prints. Let's show them what they could win. Where'd I put them? Oh, they're there. We've got today G.I. Joe #1. Oh, I don't even need to hold them up. It's right there. G.I. Joe #1 by Bob McLeod. We've got Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy from Chad Harden. We've got Francine Delgado's Rogue Roller Derby. We've got, Mr. Coker. We have a Sonic the Hedgehog. What's the story on this one, my friend?
People essentially were coming up to us asking us about video game characters. And when I saw the initial previews for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I was like, this thing looks pretty terrible. But then they switched it and they made it look pretty nice. And I was like, okay, well, this is something I feel like I can draw. So I kind of tapped into the Speed Force like our friend here and whipped this thing out as quickly as I could. It's funny because as soon as I decided to start drawing it, the idea came to me just like that, like kind of have him run into the Speed Force like the Flash or something, and it just popped out.
And what we have here, you should see it in platinum. It doesn't do it justice. It really doesn't. It's like with the silver shining through and the shine of it all. It looks really cool. I'm trying to find it because
you have a platinum version, Jimmy?
Ooh, I'm not sure.
Did I ever see a platinum version of it?
Might, but I'd have to get up and go look for it.
Yeah. Oh, here, wait, look what I found. We have the original.
Hey, there it is.
There it is. So you can see how much effects they did.
Oh yeah.
So, guys, this here is available as well. If you're interested in not only getting the print, but if you want to get the original, feel free to DM me after the show, and we'll work something out. All right, so we have Sonic the Hedgehog. What else we got for this week? We've got James C. Mulligan's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We've got, classic Joe Rubenstein, Wolverine Limited Series #1. We've got John Hebert's Uncanny X-Men versus Original. Ooh, does this look familiar to you, Mustafa?
It looks a little familiar, yeah. It looks like 2 long days of work is what it looks like.
I find it hilarious that you actually remember in your mind.
I remember I was getting ready for a show in the New York, New Jersey area, and I was like, well, Turtles, I mean, that's from New York area, so I wanted to get it done in time, and it was basically wake up, work, go to sleep. Wake up, work, go to sleep. Eating like over the sink, like in a hurry, just so I can get back to work. Like, yeah, it took it, but it's one of my favorite things I've worked on. It's basically just growing up in the '80s, watching the cartoon. Like that vision of them like first jumping out of the sewer and like landing, but like a little bit of an edge to them from the comics. But definitely the morning cartoon kind of stuff too. So kind of a mashup of both.
I love the 3.
And Raphael's up front and center because he's my favorite turtle.
Oh yeah,
Rightfully.
You too? Yeah. He always said the things that I would say in whatever the situation was. I was like, oh, that's my turtle.
The best scene in that whole movie is when him and Casey Jones go at it.
Yeah, I need to watch that movie again. I hadn't seen it in forever. I just remember the casual murder that Casey Jones does at the end of the movie. Where he's like, oops, I'm going to kill a guy now. Like,
He took out the movie, right? He took out He came back.
Sure. It's all fake.
Are you saying it wasn't kid appropriate for 1989?
I mean, I loved it. I was a kid. I loved it. So yeah, it's totally appropriate.
I love the 3-point perspective in this piece and how you have like the ninja stars also coming at us, except I have no idea who threw them.
What's the next piece?
The next piece just so happens to be. I
don't know what that is. Can you tell us a little bit about this, Steve?
You don't know Maggie and the Ferocious Beast?
I know the words that you said. I've never heard them together.
Great Googly Moogly. This is the show. This is a PBS show that came from a children's book back in 1998 that I did. I did season 1, which ironically was its only season.
That's not ironic. That's not what that means.
When I have this out on the table at shows, this is what gets people to stop and they go, I remember this show. I don't remember what it's called. And there's a reason why I don't want to remember it. And then they just move on.
You just leave people shook.
For whatever reason, this piece either gets bought like that or it gets insulted and then they walk away.
Yeah.
There is no middle. There is no middle for Maggie and the Ferocious Beast. And the unfortunate thing is, like, you guys have all your pieces coming out, all comic oriented, nostalgia, very cool, very fashionable. And then my stuff's going to be just kid shit. I guess someone's got to be counter programming in here, right?
Counter something.
Counter something. Anyways, all right, let's get that off the screen before we lose viewers. All right.
Let us know in the comments, people.
Or maybe not. We need to keep it PG. All right, guys. So there's 3 ways that you can get one of our featured prints today. Either one, you ask a question, you get a ticket in the draw. And at the end of the show, you have to be here and we will select one. Last week, it was Frank from Germany. And I see Frank has joined us. And number 2, you can go to MBartist.com and fill your boots. And we will give you free shipping on any one of these when you type in, ironically enough, free shipping. Number 3, if either 1 or 2 doesn't suit your fancy, you can just write claim and which one you want. And the lovely Jamie will take care of you. All right. So here we go. We need to catch on questions. We were gabbing and going through the housekeeping here. Brandon Halpin asks, welcome, Brandon. When you have the artist versions of writer's block, what do you look to pull yourself out of the slump?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a real good question.
I don't know. I've said before, deadlines really just kind of get you out of the slump. Like, it doesn't matter, like, and again, like, during COVID, deadlines are not like so tight anymore. So it's been more of a struggle this last year, getting work done regularly than it was when I was like, oh, I got 3 days before a big show, or I got to finish this book before, I go on the road or whatever. Now it's like, no, you're going to be home for a year straight. So have fun, have at it. And there's just not as much of a desire. So I probably have had more of a block this past year than the previous like 5 or 6 combined.
Wow.
Jamie?
I tend to find that watching like something or listening to music just kind of, freezes up the mind and just think of doing something else completely away from artwork and just letting your brain work itself out. I mean, there's nothing like sitting there and watching stand up or listening to a good song to just kind of like take you away, like Calgon back in the day.
For me, it's very simple. You want to get through a block, have children. They will give you a sense of urgency no matter what. I have 10 minutes to draw.
I don't know. If you got 10 minutes, you just want to rest, don't you?
For me, that is resting.
Take a nap on the couch, lights on, TV on, doesn't even matter.
For me, that is resting.
Yeah, you just get a sheet, cover your face, and just fall asleep.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, there's been times where I've had the clicker in my hand, and I'll be like, I'll wake up, and it's like an hour later. The show's over.
I remember there's a video game I was like wanting to play all day, and then finally like the household is asleep, and I'm like, oh, I get to play. And I remember like falling asleep with the controller in my hand, and I'd never done that my entire life.
Oh man!
And then you were even more freaked out when you woke up and you won.
No, I died.
That's a great question, Brendan. You get a ticket into the draw. Thank you very much. Let's go. Frank says hello to North America. See, our German contingent is strong for our group. Andre says German time is 8:05 p.m. We're in prime time. There you go.
Wow.
It's prime time live. Isn't that football? I don't know.
Probably.
Is it? Can you tell? We're artists. Andre Elsner asks, how long have you been around?
I think it was all the references to like stuff when we were kids. Like, how long have you been around?
Well, my mama says I've been around too long.
Oh man,
Andre, I'm just gonna say, if you're talking in terms of the show, up in the corner it says 18 minutes and 22 seconds. In terms, I think he means industry.
Oh, that.
Yeah. When did you
start? When did you start, Steve?
Professionally or amateurish?
Well, okay, start with both. Amateur.
Okay, well, depending on who you ask, I may still be there. But my first job, I was year 1 of animation, so that would be 1995.
95. Okay.
I did a short called The Sandwich for the National Film Board of Canada.
Sounds delicious.
Not really. It was. I was so ecstatic though. I got to work from home, and I was doing character designs, and every time I submit it, they would kick it back saying, "Yeah, it's too Disney." I'm like, okay,
and that's a problem.
It is well, yeah. It's they wanted a very specific look, and I guess when you're young and dumb, you can't get through sometimes. So I think I cracked it like 5-6 times before I got what they wanted, but we got there. Okay. How about you, Mustafa?
I guess amateur level was high school, 9th grade, when I was selling comic books that I would make to my classmates. But professionally, it was once I graduated high school, so 18. And then I started working on stuff that later got published by Image when I was 19. So, 18, 19, that range.
That must have been a thrill.
So again, I was kind of an arrogant kid, and I remember thinking like, why? I'm sorry. Oh, I thought you said okay. I was kind of an arrogant kid, and I was like, man, I can't believe it took until I was 18 or 19 to get published, because I knew about some guys who got published at like 15 and 17, and I was like, what's taking me so long? And then I like, now I have perspective. I look back and I'm like, actually, no, that's actually okay. I get it. That's pretty cool. It's it was kind of hard to do back then, without social media and, things like that. You had to go and talk to people in person. You couldn't just like type out an email or something. So yeah, no, it's the thing you appreciate when you look back,
Jamie, were you a late bloomer like myself?
Oh, of course. I do everything late, man. I wake up late, go to bed late. Yeah, I'm all late on everything. No, oh boy. I was kind of in the vein of Mustafa, selling drawings when I was in like elementary, middle school, high school, stuff like that, getting people's lunch money, give me that stuff, that kind of thing.
Were you asking or were you taking it?
No, I was asking for it. I was like, you want me to draw this, you better give me that lunch money, but
he's probably like, give me your milk money.
Yeah. Oh no, I was not imprisoning or threatening them. I promise. I was nice. But I would say, even though I'm a late bloomer, I think everyone's journey has its own path. Everything happens when it's supposed to happen. Everything happens for a reason. And I think that me starting my whole journey in like late 2017, early 2018 was, kind of the thing, man. Like back then I was super part-time. I was working the whole 9 to 5 job thing. And then finally 2019 went full time. And from there, it was just like, there's times where you think, God, I wish I'd been doing this sooner. Or, man, I missed a lot of opportunities and things like that. But at the same time, I also look at it as like, I got to spend, my time learning from other people that otherwise I wouldn't have met. I got to interact with people on various levels. I got to watch my daughter, turn into the awesome human being she is, and my wife. And I don't know that I would trade that for anything. So I guess in the end, I'm just happy that I get to do it now. Francine.
Hey, Jamie.
Somebody's at the door.
Hi, Mustafa, Steven,
Hi.
and everybody that is out there. Hello.
So we're back on format. Francine has joined us, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Francine Delgado, Barbie art director.
Sorry for being late.
How does it feel to order people around and delegate?
It's the life. I shouldn't say that, right? It's gonna come and bite me in the ass sometime around. I know that.
One day, can you just have
Enjoy your job.
have like your junior artists carry you in, carry your chair in, and sit you down and say, "Be gone."
No, hell no. Like I adore my team. They are the best. I am only not crazy and not totally insane because they are great. If not, I'd be like dead.
Well, we actually got asked a question from Andre. He asked, how long have you been around? So when did you break into the industry, Francine?
In the comics industry or animation? Because it's two different types.
Professional artist.
Yeah, just be
professional.
professional. When someone said, here, draw pretty.
Oh, like whatever. No, it's like I was selling silly stuff when I was younger, like, as a kid, like selling, caricatures or things like that, and they were paying for caricatures. But as a professional artist, I'm not gonna count that. I would say like I don't know, maybe in 15 years. That's a lot. I know.
What was your first? That's going to segue. Actually, Brendan asked that question, so we'll leave that out. Actually, let's just roll right into that question. Brendan asks. Oh, anyways, Andre, you get a ticket, my friend. Brendan asks, what was your first big gig that let you know you made it, and what did you do to treat yourself? First gig, what did you do to treat yourself?
I don't know what I did to treat myself. I don't remember. I probably went and buy I don't know, like a doll or something that a figure. I'm not gonna call it a doll, like a figure or something that I wanted because I had been geek since forever, and probably it was. I didn't thought like, oh, I already made it, but I thought like I was on my way when I published on this. Is a Costa Rican compilation of comic book artists, and there was a bunch of artists that I admire back home, and they invited me to be part of their group, and I was like, oh, I made it, but or I was in my way.
Mustafa, what was your first gig, and what did you do to treat yourself?
So like I was saying before, like I think I was 18 when I went to San Diego Comic-Con. I was able to get work, and that work ended up being published by Image. And I remember, I think I can say this. It's still
That is so
okay
cool,
to say.
Mustafa.
Oh,
You're
thank
like,
you.
oh.
I had my portfolio ready. I showed it to everybody, and I got work right away. And I thought, like, oh man, this is how it should be. This is whatever. But no, I did get very fortunate. But I remember my friends wanted. I think I can say this. My friends wanted to celebrate by taking me to a strip club. I think they just wanted to go and they were looking for an excuse. So I said, no, I'm good. So I bought a TV. I was like, I need a new TV.
That's the place where they take the paint off of furniture, right?
Yes, they strip furniture. Yes, exactly. Yes, they wanted to go there, and I was like, no, I'm sorry, guys, I'm above that. And so I bought a TV.
Okay, make sure you roll back. Your nose is starting to grow. I smell lies.
And the real story is that they all went to the strip club and they have a great time there. And then after that, he bought the TV.
So there's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, but that's for another podcast.
Oh yeah. Remember, Steven wanted us to keep this family friendly.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, until Joe gets here, then all bets are off.
Yeah, maybe John.
Yeah, John. Yeah, John will start flashing us. The underwear of the week is. All right, Mr. Coker, first gig, and what did you do to treat yourself?
Geez. Wow. I don't know that I've in any way, or at least to me, I don't know that there's anything that would signify to me that I'd actually made it or anything like that. If anything, I feel mostly just like I'm still clawing and scratching my way out, you know?
Wait, what? While you're being humble, let me check the sales for last month. Yeah, okay.
Like I was saying, I don't know. Like, I think part of it is I try not to dwell too much on anything like that because I just want to. Though I think the worst thing you can do is become complacent. You just want to stay hungry. Like I think there's a part of me like a little chip on my shoulder or like a little thing in the back of my head's like, you know, just kind of talks to me a little bit like, hey, you know, you're not good enough. You need to work harder. You need to work more, keep working. And I don't know. It's just a little something that just keeps me, makes it so that I guess I just keep pushing forward. I don't know. I'm a weird guy, dude.
I didn't realize you really kind of went full time. Would you say 2018?
2019.
I mean, like, I feel like I've known you forever. I would see you like at almost every like show.
Yeah.
No, I mean, in a good way. Like you did not seem like a new guy. You seem like somebody who belonged there from almost the beginning. You know,
Mustafa, that's called stalking.
Okay, well, all right. They had me out there, so I just bumped into my friend. Okay, but whatever. No, I mean, I would see you, and you did not seem like you were still trying to figure your way out, or you were new to things. You seemed like you belonged there. You know.
I mean, what's the phrase? My wife hates this phrase. It's fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I get it completely. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, it's just like meeting people in Artist Alley like yourself and like Steven. I mean, it was just like, it was a thrill to be talking to these people that had worked on some of the stuff that I'd read and looked at and loved. So, I mean, you know, I just wanted to get to know those people and know you guys and, you know, create a camaraderie or whatever.
Awesome. Hey, Bob.
Bob,
Hello.
how you doing? Mr. McLeod has joined us.
How's everybody?
Co-creator of the New Mutants, and until recently, it was just discovered G.I. Joe #1 artist.
Discovered by someone. Yeah.
By you.
I'm just gonna tell this story real quick, and then we'll ask Bob the last question. So we're gonna be going to UltraCon last weekend of August. We're all gonna be there. And the convener, who also just so happens to be the admin for the Collector's Toy Shop, Irving, our controller and master Irving, found out. He said, "What has Bob worked on?" And I said, "Well, G.I. Joe #1." Seriously, this is what I said. Steven, do you realize what you have just told me? Like, it blew his mind. He had no idea that Bob worked on G.I. Joe #1. I said, "Oh yeah, he sent me the rough for it, and it was originally an Herb Trimp." Do you want to tell the story, Bob, of G.I. Joe #1?
Well, yeah, it was penciled by Herb Trimpe, and beautiful pencils. I was a fan of Herb's art. He's used to be a great guy. We used to play softball together in New York after work. Marvel had a softball team. And Herb and I were like almost the only two that actually knew how to play softball. It was not a very athletic team. Anyway, he did the pencils, and unfortunately for him, right about that time, Marvel had decided that his work was looking old-fashioned and wanted it to be kind of jazzed up a little bit. So they asked me to do what I could to kind of bring it up to a more modern look, which at that time is old-fashioned now. But anyway, I went through and did what I could with it, and didn't change it that much, but changed it into my style instead of Herb's style. And it's become kind of iconic.
Absolutely. It's not only that, but the next day, Irving calls me up out of nowhere and he goes, "Steven, guess where I am?" I'm like, "I have no idea, Irving. Where are you?" He's in Florida. I'm in Toronto. What do you want? He goes, "I'm in my condo and I'm digging out every single G.I. Joe #1 I own." So I don't know if you have carpal tunnel, Bob, but I got a feeling.
Gonna be signing a lot of G.I. Joes.
Yeah, and then we told that story to you yesterday, and my lovely wife was next door, and she got all excited, and she was like, "Oh, did you draw Scarlet?" And then what did you say about Scarlet? This was the best.
I said, I think she has a helmet or something. I barely know what the characters look like. I was not a G.I. Joe fan.
She was just like,
all those toys came out, after I was grown, and so I never played with them. And my kids, were they were after them too? Maybe I don't know, but my kids never even had the G.I. Joe toys.
Just out of curiosity, how many covers did you get to work on for G.I. Joe?
Oh gosh, seems like 30. It was 30. A lot of them.
I got a feeling we're gonna have to punch them all out.
Yeah, I inked the inside of #1 and inked, I think, number 35 or 50 or something. Inked a couple more issues, but mostly I just did covers, inking over Mike Zeck or Ron Wagner, I think, a couple other people.
Very cool. Very cool.
Do you happen to still have any of them?
The covers?
Yeah.
Is that a joke?
I'm sorry.
Decades ago.
Sorry.
He has it on a hard drive.
Yeah, I
have the scans,
had some G.I. Joe covers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the G.I. Joe #1 sketch is phenomenal. I just love seeing there's riding up the side and the Marvel comics go on the top. So vintage. It's just awesome. Yeah. So while you're digging in your files there, Bob, and I know you are, the question that was asked was, what was your first gig and what did you do to treat yourself?
first big gig that let me know I made it.
Yep.
Well, I thought I had made it. It was my very first published job for Crazy Magazine, the satire of Westworld. I showed you guys a couple weeks ago. I really thought I had hit the big time when I got that published. I don't know that I did any celebrating, just calling my mom, let her know I finally got published. But I was thrilled, and then kind of, didn't really take off like I thought it was going to after that for another year or so.
I can just picture that conversation. Hey, Mom, remember that drawing on the fridge? Yeah, we sold it. So let's catch up on some questions, and we're glad Bob could come and join us. Next question, Brandon, you get a ticket, my friend. Another ticket for Brendan. Brendan is on a roll. He goes, if you couldn't be artist, what would you want to do as a profession? Francine.
Oh, I always thought that, and like being an artist wasn't like my first dream option. I wanted to be a dancer. I would be out of job at this age now. And I'm a terrible dancer. I don't have coordination, so I won't be good. I wouldn't be good. But when I was a little kid, I always wanted to be a dancer. Like, okay, I want to dance.
Jamie.
I guarantee you're the best dancer on this panel.
I guarantee I'm not. How about I am, but I guarantee you I'm not.
I bet you Jamie could give her a run for her money.
Oh, yeah?
I did some dancing back in my day.
See, I knew it.
He has a face that he can dance.
Jake, how long ago was your day?
Oh, a long time ago. Long time ago. Long time ago.
So you're saying dance off?
When you were a kid around 10 or 11?
Dance off?
I'm sorry. There was a lot coming at me at once. What?
I said when you were a kid around 10 or 11?
Oh, no. A little bit older than that. A little bit older, but still, that was ages ago. I mean, gosh, I remember I used to do some dancing in high school, and they would film us because we would perform in front of the whole school and stuff. We had like this little dance troupe. Oh man, you know how you look back at those old photos and videos, and you just feel the cringe just
So
taking
you're
over
saying
your
there's
whole
body
body.
exist of this?
Oh
And you
man,
have videos.
So you'll bring it
no,
on the
I
next
don't
show?
have them. Thank God I don't have them because I don't know where. I think I don't. I'd never play them for one, but two, in case anyone ever had them, or got them from me. Oh man, talk about blackmail.
Jamie, let's be honest. Trish just got you to get rid of the box boards on the floor last week.
Oh, dude, let me put it to you this way. Remember MC Hammer used to have those pants, the saggy diaper looking pants? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, just okay. Caving into blackmail, pay them, but destroy those. Destroy them.
And I bet he went, stop, cooker time.
Oh God, those were dark days.
Jamie, what would you do if you weren't an artist? What's your profession other than dancing?
I was in retail in managing and supervising for a long time, decades. I guess a better answer for me would be, what would my dream job be? As if I wasn't an artist, when I was younger, for some stupid reason, I wanted to be like a pro wrestler. That is so dumb, but yeah, I kind of wanted to do that for a little while. Until I realized how much I get hurt.
You'd be like
or basketball player. I used to play a ton of basketball.
You'd be definitely heel, eh?
Oh yeah.
I wanted to fight until I find out that they could hit me too, and that would hurt.
Mustafa, profession.
So yeah, ever since I was a kid, it was tough for me to figure out a plan B. I was always wanting to be an artist. I didn't really focus, but if there was something involving like writing, probably comedy writing, like a stand-up comic or something. And yeah, I don't know. I always had a fear of like talking to big crowds and stuff. And then like once I got out of my teens, I was like, oh, this is no big deal at all. So I think it's too late for me on that though.
Mr. McLeod.
Well, I don't think it's too late, Mustafa. I think you got to go for that.
Yeah. Yeah, this artist thing isn't working out. I should just pick.
I've already done another professional little bit teaching. I really enjoy teaching, and if my art career hadn't taken off, I most likely would have become a teacher, an art teacher, or maybe an English teacher. I like English.
Well, let's do a plug out. Your ABC superhero book. It's interesting because at the show you'll have your New Mutants and your Spideys, and then you'll have a stack of the ABC book, and you only have one or two by the end of the show.
Yeah, they still sell. It's amazing. It's been out since 2006 and still selling decently. So glad I did that book. It was a lot of fun and brought me to a different audience outside of comic books. So it's been great.
Yeah, it's very cool. Brendan, that was a good question. Let's drop another ticket for you. Let's move on. Frank,
what about you, Stephen? You
me?
have an answer. Yeah.
I'd probably be a stay-at-home dad. No, there was a time in my life for about 3 years I was a screenwriter. I had a package.
That's nice.
I had a package agent and everything, and a stack of spec scripts that didn't go anywhere.
Oh.
I actually had an offer to get the Alpha. So do you remember back in the 90s they had Mutant X and sorry, they had a couple of shows on, and it was a time when Marvel was just selling everything off. And I did a Bible for an Alpha Flight TV series for Canada, and I had his packaging agent, and he sent it off to Marvel. And Marvel liked it. And he goes, I got good news. Marvel loves it. They just want $2 million for the rights. Oops. And I was like, will they take a check? Like, where am I going to get $2 million?
Oh.
Anyway.
No.
Yeah, but it was cool. Like, I had this moment, I was like, oh, they want to do it? And then he like crushed me.
Oh.
All right. Next question. Frank wants to know, how many conventions and signings do you have usually in a non-pandemic year?
So, like in the past.
In the past.
Yeah. Non-pandemic.
Yeah. How many signings did you have last year?
like 2 years ago.
So that would be 2019.
Oh,
how many shows did you go to in 2019, Bob?
Well, years ago, most of my career, I would only do like 3 or 4 shows a year. And then the convention circuit just started really taking off around 2015, 16, somewhere around there.
Yep.
And I started doing kind of one a month or so. And then last couple of years, I was doing an average of almost 2 a month.
Ooh.
Yeah, sometimes 4 in 1 month.
I remember that.
Oh.
You called me up and said, I got talked into another one.
That's too many. I prefer just doing 1 a month at the most.
How about you, Mustafa? 2019. Remember the good times.
So a little more than that. I've told people, like the first 15 years of my career, I was just doing comics, and conventions back in the day, they were like in hotel ballrooms. They weren't that big a deal, other than like San Diego Comic-Con and Chicago, some of the big ones. And then, yeah, I think it was like 2014. I started noticing, like, man, they're everywhere. There's like 3 a week, depending on where you want to travel to. And when I started putting out my resume and listing all the things I've worked on, they were like, yeah, do you want to come out here? Do you want to come out there? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to say no. I've never been there. I want to check it out. And so I just did all of them. So I would do like 40 a year. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I remember I did 15 and 16 weeks at one point, like scheduled. And I had 1 week off, and this local, thing here in Houston, like said, hey, are you free this weekend? And I was like, well, I was going to take off, but yeah, sure. And like, when I had that 1 week off, I didn't know what to do with myself. So I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed the traveling. I enjoyed meeting, other nerds and talking nerd stuff to, places I wouldn't normally go. So yeah, no, I love it. And I'm sure Jamie has similar stories.
So you didn't work during those 16 weeks, right? Because tell me you was not working and going to the
Oh,
convention.
no. I actually worked harder. Like I said before, I don't know if it was before you were on the stream, but like when I had like 3 days or whatever in between shows, I would work harder in those 3 days than this whole time during pandemic, when you don't have like any pressure, when you don't have any like, oh, there's a big show coming up, I got to finish this for deadlines, or I got to do this cover, or I got to get this piece done in time for this show. Like I don't have that going on right now, so I don't have the the desire to.
Wow.
Jamie, can you top that?
Maybe. 2019, we did 45 or 46 shows out of 52
I
weeks.
knew it.
Yeah, well, kind of dogs, getting out there, eating the local cuisine, meeting fine people, and some art, that kind of thing. But I love
the fried cheese curds up there.
Oh gosh, man.
Yeah, but I know how he has you beat, Mustafa. How do you get to all the conventions, Jamie?
Oh, I drive to everywhere.
Have you seen his van? It's like the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo.
Actually, I don't think I have. I know he's helped me out. He had some prints that I had that I was like, man, I can't take this back. And he was like, I'm going to the next show. I'll just give them to you there. He was a lifesaver for me once. Yeah.
I've seen him before he unpacks, and it's like a game of Tetris. Like it is vacuum sealed. And I swear to God, you can see when it's empty, the car is literally like goes up about 4 inches.
Yeah. Man, you got to pack that thing. We have so much stuff that we bring to these shows. It's like, and then we keep refining it. Like we find the perfect formula to pack it, so it's like nothing shifts, nothing moves, or anything like that. Last few shows though, we've had it pretty good. It's like nothing. You don't hear the rattle or anything when we're driving. I think we got it down. Oh yeah.
You must have gone through like 3 sets of tires.
How often do you change your tires?
Oh my gosh. I think we changed them once or twice. Once, I think.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
I changed mine more, and I don't drive that far at all.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna see the pendulum completely swing here. Francine, how many?
No. Like I don't even I thought like, oh my God, 2018 not that much, but 2018 was super crazy to me because I went to so many conventions, and then these guys start talking, and I'm like, okay, I'm a softie. But every time that I have to go to a convention, I have to take time off from my studio work, and they always want to kill me. So that too. And most of the time I have to go by plane, so I can only take like a very little suitcase with what can I get there. So I'm in another league. You guys are like over there with everything just figured it out, and I bring like 3 or 2 stuff. Basically in the conventions, what I do is I sit with 3 or 2 different posters, and I do commissions. That's are my conventions. And for 2018, that I thought I did like so many, it was like Calgary, Vancouver, Fan Expo in Vancouver, Fan Expo in Toronto, San Diego, New York, and Emerald City. So I did 7, and I was like, whoa.
Those are good ones, though. Those are the ones that do.
So now,
Francine's like, guys, I did 7, and I'm spent.
and I thought like, I'm flying, and I'm hearing all of you guys, and like, oh, come on, out of here.
It's not that many, Francine, when you can list them off.
Yeah.
But here's a question, and then we'll get back to the comments here. So you were talking about both Bob and Mustafa made comments about how like this has just gotten crazy recently. This is only a 5-year explosion. Can you guys pinpoint when exactly? What was the pinpoint turning? When did it turn?
I mean, for me, I think the success of the Marvel movies, because there were superhero movies, but they weren't always great. they'd have movies. But when Marvel started really like controlling their brand, and having shared universes and stuff. And I want to say it was like around the time of like when Guardians of the Galaxy came out and Deadpool, things that you wouldn't necessarily have thought of a couple decades ago that need movies, and how successful they were. And I noticed like the Comic-Cons would spike as far as attendance goes right after these big movies.
Bob?
Yeah, I mean, the movies definitely had a big impact, but I think it was a kind of a gradual thing. There used to be a lot of littler shows all around the country. These small time guys trying to make a profit at a convention, and they do a few and maybe phase away. But it just kind of gradually started getting more and more bigger shows around the country. I don't think it was any one year or anything. I just think I don't know, starting around the late 90s into the 2000s, they just started getting more and more numerous. And the more there were, they started realizing there was a lot of money to be made there, and a lot of more people tried to get in, started producing shows. So it just kind of grew, exponentially.
Cool. All right, let's go to the next one. Good question, Frank. You get another one, and it goes. Luke Holbrook's back. Hey, Luke, how you doing, buddy? We're gonna do a tease later that you'll might like. If you have a playlist when you are working, what music is on it?
Oh.
Okay, Jamie, you just popped right in your head. What's on your playlist?
I listen to a lot of Stevie Wonder. I love Stevie Wonder. He's probably my favorite artist by far. He is, in my opinion, the greatest singer-songwriter that ever lived. I listen to that, or I listen to a lot of 80s. Sometimes I'll get stuck on a song, and I'll listen to that whenever I get ready to warm up. And lately, it's been "The Touch" by Stan Bush. I just listened to that.
That's a great one.
No, I'm not kidding. I'll listen to that cheesy.
That whole soundtrack is good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'll just
the instrumental stuff, the hair metal stuff, all of it. It's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've listened to it while driving. Yeah.
Francine, what's on your playlist when you draw?
What?
Francine.
Oh yeah, me. My mom called me Francine. Normal people call me Fran, so I got confused.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry.
Sorry, Stephen. I was looking actually at my Spotify because I usually listen to Spotify, and I have several different playlists. And apparently, what I listen to the most is Disney songs. Don't laugh at me, but apparently, I listen a lot to Disney songs and to soundtracks from movies. I love the soundtrack from Billy Elliot. I listened to it so many times. And there is a Spanish singer that kind of sings trova music. It's called Joaquin Sabina. I can listen to that guy forever. Yeah, Disney music and soundtracks.
Bob, what's on your playlist?
I'm lucky enough to have two sons that are very musical, and they've recorded a lot of music that I listen to when I work. They call it old time. It's like a precursor to bluegrass. Maybe it's kind of what you'd associate with mountain music, I guess. I don't know, just early American music. And my son plays fiddle and banjo and guitar. My other son plays banjo and guitar. So they've recorded a lot of stuff that I listen to. And then when I am not listening to them, I've got a whole, so many different artists, and I just kind of start with one and let it play through the list. I don't have like a particular one that I listen to other than them.
Give your sons a plug. Do they have like a website or any albums people can download?
Yeah, if you just Google Andy McLeod, his name will come up, and his music. He's on a site called Bandcamp where you can order his albums. And my older son, Jeff, kind of plays with Andy and is on some of his albums.
Cool. There you go, guys. Check it out. Check it out. Mustafa, what's on your playlist, man?
So let's see. When I've talked before, like when I listen to music, it does make me work faster. But when there's not deadlines, I listen to podcasts and stuff because I can just listen to a bunch and not have to like figure out like, what do I feel like listening to and spend however long I got to think of. But this past weekend, I was doing a show and I had commissions, and I put on Zeppelin and I just listened to that for like hours and hours because I don't have to think. Like there's so much music, you know. Or I could put on the Beatles and just that covers an entire night, you know. So yeah, I just stuff that has a lot of songs I don't have to think about because I don't want it to be totally randomized where I'm like, oh, I don't like this song, I'm gonna skip that. I don't like this song, I'm gonna skip that. But if it's like a band that I like one of those guys, I know I'll like it. I'll just play the whole thing.
So I don't know if it's an industry thing, but I'm with Francine, and that's okay. You can mock me all you want. Whenever I'm animating, if I'm doing anything that requires movement or story or anything, I'll be like Francine. I'll have Disney songs, and I'll have instrumental music. I don't know why, but if you've never checked out the Star Trek First Contact with the horns and everything, very cool stuff.
Soundtracks are so good. Like,
oh yeah.
When you're listening to the movie, sometimes you don't put attention to the music by itself, but if you use it just like as sounds when you're doing anything else, you're like, oh wow, look at those I don't know, trumpets or whatever. Like, oh
wow. But if I'm doing still imagery, it's rock, Beatles, Stones, Zeppelin. Love Zeppelin. I could put Zeppelin on and just let it roll.
Yep.
You can't beat like a good guitar riff. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I have to have that dichotomy if I'm animating versus still imagery. Good question, Luke. We're gonna drop that into the ticket for you. Hey, Brendan, Jamie, this is for you. Brendan says that's why they call him Pop Lock and Coker.
Oh God.
Dionysus, I hope I say this right.
Mouthful, huh?
Dionysus Tukula says, Mustafa Musa, you go, bro beans.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. What's up, dude?
Ask a question.
Yeah, met him in Dubai. He's a great dude.
Awesome. Luke asked another one. If you could work with another artist, dead or alive, who would it be? Mustafa, dead or alive, who do you want to work with?
Another artist, dead or alive? Oof. Yeah,
it's gonna be hard if they're dead.
Yeah, I'd be working on stuff that they produced when they were alive, I guess. Jeez, I don't know. You know what? I should just say like Jim Lee, right? I'll just do that. Yeah, I'll just say Jim Lee. Yeah, that makes it easy. Yeah.
There you go. Bob, you've worked with a lot of greats in terms of inking and passing your pencils. Is there anybody specifically you haven't had a chance to work with that you wish you could or still have the opportunity to?
Yeah, sure. There's so many. I mean, if I could pick anybody, it would probably be like go back to the beginning, Hal Foster.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jamie.
Jim Lee would have been my default answer, but I think no. But I think based on terms of who I look at now, I don't know. I'm intrigued by Frank Cho. I think he might be a cool one to work with.
Yeah.
Cool. Francine.
I'm looking for the guy's name because I forget his name all the time. It's an Argentinian comic artist. He passed out already, and I love his art. I have always loved it. He started creating this style that has like very like square fingers, and like he draw like the hairs kind of like if they are lines. And he basically started with this new style, and then Francisco Herrera and Humberto Ramos took over the art. But it all started with this Argentinian guy that I'm forgetting his name, and I hate when I forget names.
We'll give you a second to Google.
Meglia. It's Meglia, yeah.
I'm going to go 2, and one's going to be off the board. I would love to do the in-betweens for a Glen Keane scene, Disney animator. And I'd love to have Luc Besson hand me what his sequel to Fifth Element would be and say, turn this into a comic book.
Wow.
I think that would be really cool. Do you want to change your answer now, Francine? Because I know what...
No. Like I would like to really work in comics with Carlos Meglia because he started style that was the first time when I saw like I used to love anime and manga and I wasn't so into American comics and European comics. I love European comics. But then when I see Carlos Meglia working his twist on American comics, I was like, wow, that was like a new world for me. And he passed out already, so I'll never will be able to work with him. And that's why I will pick him, because since I know that for sure I will never going to be able to work with him. It'll be great. But I can still work with Lou Besson, maybe, because he's not dead yet.
Well, that'd be interesting too, because I know you really would like to do the sequel to The Professional and see what that would be like.
Oh, so good.
Yes.
That'd be maybe if anybody's got connections, we can get him on here and he can say, if you could do a sequel, what would the sequel be for The Professional? And then you can take your notes and turn it into a comic book. All right, thanks, Luke. There you go, another one for you. Thanks, buddy. Frank asks, have you ever done a show outside of North America? Oh, Bob, this is your dream. Bob has a few.
I have.
Have you done a show outside of North America, Bob?
Yeah, I've been to Spain and France and Greece. It seems like I'm forgetting some place. Oh, Mexico.
Francine, other than I'm betting it's Costa Rica. Am I right?
Yeah, of course. It's where I born. I started there, and I did a couple of small shows, and like the big one that was over there before I moved here. Now I know that they keep doing a lot of crazy stuff, and I'm like, wow, now they got into what you guys were talking about, like into the Comic-Con fever. They have their own stuff going on. It's pretty cool.
Jamie, somebody's at the door. Mr. Hebert has joined us.
Hello.
How you doing, John?
Good. I would have been on a few minutes ago, but I was awakened to a broken pipe under my sink in the kitchen, so that's what I've been attending to.
Ooh. Are we all good now? We got a question from Frank. Have you ever done a show outside of North America?
I have not.
If you could, where would you go?
Love to do Japan. I'd love to see Japan, and that would be a good excuse. I've always wanted to go there. I want to eat dinner at the Ribera Steakhouse. For any of you wrestling fans, you'll get that reference. Japan, I would just love that. I really would. I think that'd be awesome. I've heard Spain's really good for shows too.
Just make sure you.
Pretty much.
John, I will go with you to those two places.
Mustafa, have you ever done any shows outside of North America?
So my passport actually lapsed a couple of years ago, and so there'd be talk about going to different shows, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, I got to do the passport thing, and I got prints. It seems like a hassle. And then the Dubai opportunity came up, and I was like, okay, I got to figure out something so I can go there. So I went to Dubai, and it was like my favorite weekend I've ever had. It was amazing. And then there was all these other shows that were going to come from that trip, like Kuwait and maybe South Africa and some of these other things. And I was like, man, this sounds awesome. And then COVID.
I had the feeling that was going to be the end of the story, COVID.
Yep. Spoiler alert.
I've got a feeling it's the end to a lot of stories. Jamie,
well, hopefully it's just a pause,
Yeah,
it's coming back. Jamie, outside North America, ever?
Not yet. Looking forward to the day, though. I mean, as far as where I'd want to go, why not just go all of the places? You know, just anywhere.
But the first one,
Anywhere that seems cool. I have a friend that lives in Japan. He's lived there for many, many years. With his wife, his kid now, and yeah, that's always seemed like a really cool place to go.
I'd like to do Australia. Australia sounds fun. You know?
Oh yeah.
And I heard their shows. They do them kind of like within a few weeks of each other. And I got a buddy down there I can stay with. I'm gonna stay with my buddy Mike Rome.
Australia.
and they are COVID free at the moment.
Yeah. Actually, it might not be a good time to go right now.
See, the problem, Jamie, is you would need to equip the mystery machine with an outboard motor.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd have to put some skis on it, and then you're going across the water and everything. Yeah, it'd be a whole deal. Oh yeah.
I'm in.
All right, guys, it's 4:00. That means we got to do a reset. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. This is MBartist Alley Live. I am Stephen Ohola. I started this mess. And with me today are the creators of MBartist. These are some of your favorite pop artists. And we're going to go around the horn. We've got Marvel and DC inker, Mustafa Musa. We have pop art specialist, Jamie Coker. We have Barbie art director, Francine Delgado. We have not only G.I. Joe #1 artist, which some people are going to be dining on for a while, but co-creator of the New Mutants, Bob McLeod.
Hello.
And then in the bottom square, right below me, is Marvel Punisher and X-Men artist John Hebert. Guys, thanks for coming. So as we do with the reset, we're going to walk through our featured prints. So let's kick them up. So guys, here's our featured prints. Let's walk through them, and then we'll tell you how you can get them. First off is Bob McLeod, G.I. Joe #1. And if you missed earlier, Bob talked all about it. The next one is Chad Hardin's Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy. Francine, what's the story on this one?
Oh, she belongs to a series of ex-girl roller derbies I did. And this is my proposal for Rogue, if she would be in a roller derby team.
Awesome. After that one, we've got Sonic the Hedgehog by Jamie Coker. And there we go. James C. Mulligan's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Joe Rubenstein's Wolverine #1 classic cover. John Hebert, what's the story on this one, my friend?
That was a commission for a fellow who did shows out in the outskirts of Boston, and he wanted me to do the classic X-Men against the original X-Men. And I ended up not inking it. I don't know who he had do it. I inked this on an overlay, but it was oversized. It was like 20 by 30. It was a lot of fun to do. And to this day, a Xerox of the pencils, a full-size Xerox, still lives on the wall in my studio. It was a lot of fun, and the color added to it. It's a little bright. Sometimes I think it looks a little like something that you'd see on the side of a van in the late 70s, but it's cool.
Hey, Jamie, there's an idea. You could put this on the side of the Mystery Machine. So we have John Hebert's original versus Extra Spicy. Oh, Mr. Musa, we have your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We talked about this at the top of the hour. And finally, we'll go through this one real quick. We have Megan Fresh Space. All right, let's turn that off.
You always do the same.
All right, guys. So those are our featured prints. There's 3 ways you can get featured prints. Way number 1, you ask a question, we answer. You will get a ticket into a draw. You got to be here for the draw to win at the end of the show. Number 2, you can go on MBartist.com, get any one of these, whether it's our fine art, our platinum, or canvases, and you can fill your boots, and you will get free shipping with the code, ironically, free shipping. We like to keep things very complex. Number 3, if you say those 2 just don't work for me, I want it now, just put claim in whichever one you want, and the lovely Jamie will take care of you. So that's the housekeeping, and that's what we have available for you guys, and the lucky winner will be able to pick one of those 9 at the end of the show. All right, so let's catch up here. We are at, hey, old friend of yours, Mustafa, Ariel Diaz has a question. What was the most challenging project you have ever taken on? Mustafa, we'll let you go. I think this one's for you.
Is it for me? Oh gosh. So the most challenging project wasn't the project itself. It was about the circumstances. So like, I remember having to finish an issue of Superman in the middle of like 3 shows in a row. So like I was taking it with me and working on it in the hotel or in the airport or whatever. The Batman cover I had to work on. Like I remember seeing like the digital like layouts while I was in a show in Philadelphia, and I remember it was due Tuesday, and I got home Monday night. So I got home, I worked until I passed out, and then I woke up and I just worked until it was done. And I had however many coffees and energy drinks to get it done. But deadlines, they wait for no one.
Bob.
God, I've worked on so many projects. I would say my ABC book, Superhero ABC, because that's the only thing I've ever written. So I had to write funny stuff, hopefully, for all of these characters for the alphabet, and come up with a superhero for every letter of the alphabet. Much more difficult than you might think, because I can't use a name that's already been used, and there's thousands of names that had already been used. So that was a tough project, not so much art-wise, but just creative-wise. And then when I did that, I had never done any digital coloring, so I kind of had to quickly try to teach myself digital coloring while I was doing the book.
Just out of curiosity, what was the toughest letter to do a hero for?
Q is always difficult. X, I would say X is the hardest. There's so few words that start with X. So I kind of cheated, and I did the team from Planet X.
What? Xylophone Man was taken?
It's amazing, yeah.
John.
Either my first project, the first published work I got, which ended up being a long-term thing. I ended up being allowed to write part of it after I'd already signed on to draw, and we were rewriting it as we went, because it was actually about the comic business and all the black and whites and the insanity, the way they were selling and going up in value in the 80s. And the story was changing almost day by day. So it was kind of like my Casablanca. And it came down to the point where we had to get the thing in the day before Halloween. And I had been up for like 30 hours. And my girlfriend and I were doing final retouching. And we took it down to the office, and we spent a couple hours. She was lettering it. Not well, but she was lettering it. And we took it to the book, ended up breaking us up. So thank God. Thank God. She became a woman football player, so I dodged a bullet. Not making that up. Not making that up.
I'm loving this story. Keep going.
Not making that up. True story. So we went down to the office. It was a very cold day, and I was sitting on the floor in the back office, which wasn't insulated. And I was just trying to stay awake, and the floor was ice cold, and they're doing last-minute retouches. And then we had to drive 2 hours out to the printing plant. Now, here's the thing. It's way out in the middle of Amsterdam, which is out in nowhere. But they had found this printing plant that would do the book for next to nothing. So we drove it out, dropped everything off, went over it again with the printers, and I drove home, and I was just so exhausted because I'd been up so long. And I remember I was kind of like hallucinating on the way home. And it's like farm country out there. And it looks like the town from Halloween 3 where they made the masks. If you ever saw Halloween 3. Now it's Halloween. I go home. I turn on the TV. What's on? That movie. So I'm just dozing off. And Tom, the editor, calls and says, hey, great. You know what? There was no backlog. The presses were going to be idle. So they're running the whole run tonight. You got to get up first thing in the morning and drive out and get a case of those so we can have them for the store tomorrow. I was so exhausted. So we did, And somehow I did it. I ended up bringing the books back. We put them on the floor in the store. They cracked them open, and I got to sign my first autographs. I was just so dead tired. I remember saying, it can never be this bad again. And until I had to draw an issue and a half of War Journal with a broken hand, it never was.
Oh,
Wow.
So that's my long story.
Well, that's another story. Let's put a pin in that. We'll come back to that story. Francine.
Oh, well, of course, nothing like this one. That one was epic. But I have, yeah, I feel very proud of being part of this project. Around 2018, I became the character designer for this show called Mega Man Fully Charged.
Mega Man, never heard of him.
They have to design like a bunch of these bad guys and a bunch of the robots and the characters in the show. And that was super challenging because it was like the first time that I was being like a senior designer in a TV show that I really want to design for. So I will say everything about that was very challenging. Like first time doing that position for a show that I was really hoping to do that. And how I remember how I get this because I wanted to be part of this show. So I went to a convention and I spoke with the guys for the writers for Ben 10. They were at the convention.
Man of Action.
Yeah, Men of Action. They were at the convention and I was working with them. They were super nice. And then they asked me where I work. And I said, no, I'm working in Canada in a studio called VHX. And they said, oh, we're writing a show for that studio. And hello, really? And then we start talking and they were saying they were going to be the writers for Mega Man. And I was like, oh, that's going to be in my studio. And I went back to the studio and I knocked the door to the executive that was working, that was the executive on that show. And I told him, I'm working on another show, but I want to work on the show. You have to move me. I have to be the character designer of the show. I want to work with those writers. And so from the beginning was a challenge because I knew I want to work on that. And I got it. And it was a great experience.
Jamie.
So my answer is gonna be a little different, I guess. My thing was trying to navigate starting up a business, doing these shows, getting artwork done, like all that stuff. Like 2018, 2019, that was a challenge. Just trying to get all that put together. Oh man, that was like forms and taxes and artwork and booking and just everything that encapsulated that year and a half or so was it was a lot of headaches. I remember there were times where I was just like mentally exhausted and I was like, man, I don't know if I can keep up with this, but there's always that little nagging voice, that's just like, you can do it, just keep going. So I just kept going at it, and I'm glad I did. I mean, I think it taught me a lot about myself and about resilience and just pushing ahead, man. Even if it tuckers you out and you feel like you can't keep going, if you love it, you'll find a way to get it done.
Jamie, is your inner voice British?
I don't know what it is, man. It goes back and forth between accents. Sometimes it's British, sometimes it's a little Southern. Who knows?
I thought you were just turning it.
Don't get to work.
For me, the biggest challenging project I ever took on is trying to launch a company during a pandemic. There you go. COVID hit.
What a year.
Yeah, what a year. What a
year.
Ariel, great question. Ticket in the draw. Thank you. Brendan has another one. Who is another artist that inspires you?
Well, now I'm inspired by this amazing bunch of artists that I'm with because every time that I get to listen to their stories and what they have been through and everything, like, holy cow, how I don't knew about them like way before. So I'm really inspired by all of you guys. Very good answer, but I really like it.
Well, let's talk about that inspiration, about internal inspiration and working together. Mustafa, remember the conversation we had yesterday?
No.
We had so many. So
Remind me.
We're going to be the last weekend of August at UltraCon.
Oh, that, yes.
In
absolutely.
West Palm Beach. And they have announced and committed to doing a Golden Age tribute. And they have selected Wiz Comics. And if you don't know Wiz Comics, that is Captain Marvel, not the Marvel, the DC Shazam Captain Marvel. And everybody around the table here is going to get to do a cover. And the last artist that they chose was Mustafa Musa, and you had a great idea.
I had a great idea?
Yeah, ask her.
Oh, well, something Francine and me talked about is maybe collaborating together on something. So, yeah, I would love to work with her on it. Absolutely.
Wow, worst proposal ever.
Is it? Well, usually it's just one-on-one, so...
Yes, Steven, you always do these things that you put people like on a spotlight, and you're like, "What, Steven?"
It's harder to say
what
no.
you were getting at first, man.
It's harder to say no.
Jeez. Okay.
So the exciting thing is Bob McLeod is going to do a cover. John Hebert has already done his cover, and it's very cool. Mr. Coker, I'm sure you've got one on tap and already in mind, I'm sure. And Joe Rubenstein will be doing a cover. So we're going to have 5 Wiz comic covers that's going to be exclusive to UltraCon. So hopefully you all come out and take a whiz with us.
You have no idea how many times I made that same joke since I started this thing. Come take a whiz.
Brendan, thank you for the question. We're going to drop that in the hat for you. Shane, Jonathan, Eisen, thank you for joining us, sir. Who is a artist, writer, celebrity that when you meet them, you geek out? Mine was David Finch. Jamie.
Ooh.
Artist. Writer,
I've met a few celebrities. Boy. Gosh, I guess if I'm pressed, I would say probably Travolta when I met him.
Yeah.
Because I gave him my what you call the mashup I have with Pulp Fiction and Bert and Ernie, and his reaction to it was really, really cool, and it was like everything I could have hoped for, and that just made me more excited when I was standing there in front of him talking to him, because I was like the last guy in line to meet him. So that's probably my answer.
Bob.
I'm not really the kind of person that geeks out around celebrities, artists, or writers, or movie stars. So I can't really say I ever geeked out around anybody, but I was kind of intimidated when I first met Stan Lee.
Do you have a story for that?
Well, I mean, when I was working in a grocery store stocking shelves, this guy working with me is kind of responsible for me starting at Marvel. He when he found out I could draw, he said, "Oh, you got to go work for Marvel Comics." And I was not planning to do that at the time, so I did end up at Marvel. And of course, this guy wanted me to get Stan's autograph for him. So I went in to ask Stan for his autograph, while I was working at Marvel one day, and you have to ask to go in to see Stan, and he assumed I was coming in for some kind of business reason or I don't know what. And then he just kind of laughed when I told him I just needed his autograph for this friend of mine. And maybe he didn't believe it was for my friend. Maybe he thought I was too shy to say it was for
a friend of mine.
Yeah.
A friend of mine.
Mustafa.
I remember I was 12 when I met Todd McFarlane at a local show here, and he just started Spawn. And like seeing like original art up close was super inspiring. I mean, I guess in a way, I definitely geeked out as a 12-year-old, but like you wait in line for 2 hours, so that geek kind of gets tampered down a little, like there's celebrities and guys like that at these shows, and I just kind of see them all. It doesn't really faze me so much anymore. But when I see voice actors from when I was a kid, all of a sudden I'm a kid again. So like I was next to the daughter of Harold Ramis at a show in Chicago, and like I was a big fan of Ghostbusters and Groundhog Day and like all these movies, right? And I was just hanging out with her, talking to her, and it was cool. And then there was this guy who came up, and I was like, that guy looks familiar. Who is that guy? And he just wanted to say hi to her and, you know, chit chat and stuff. I was like, who is that guy? Who is that guy? Oh, that's the voice of Brain from like Pinky and the Brain. And like all of a sudden I was a kid again, and he talked to me and he did the voice, and I was just like, yeah, super shy.
John.
Geeked out when Mike Zeck agreed to take me under his wing. That was impressive. I was about 18. But the one that still sticks with me is I was on stage with Meatloaf one time. Okay. When he did his VH1 Storytellers tour, the opening night of the tour was here in Albany, mid-sized theater. And he was telling stories and then singing the songs the stories came from, whatever, or vice versa, answering questions from the audience. And it was Halloween weekend. And it was, I originally wasn't going to go. I had the tickets, but we had just buried my grandmother that day, and I was really down. But my buddy kept saying, come on, go, you need it. Okay, fine. So here we are in the audience. And I'm about third, fourth row. And Meat gets to the point where he's telling the story about how when they would audition the original album and they audition Paradise by the Dashboard Light for record executives, they would have a tape player with Phil Rizzuto doing the voiceover. Everybody knows the song, right? Where they have the baseball. He's going to go for it. He's making it. I guess not. Well, anyway, it's Phil Rizzuto, the baseball player, on the tape. And when that part would come up, and incidentally, Phil Rizzuto was the father-in-law of a friend of mine from the fire department. They would play that, and Meatloaf and the woman that was the female singer would just make out on the guy's desk and freak him out. He says, you know what? I'm going to show you what it's about. We got a couple here who agreed to make out on the desk while we do this. They won a contest on a radio station. So come on out. So they bring this couple out. He goes, I need somebody to be a record executive. And I'm not even paying attention at this point. I'm just kind of vegging out. It's late in the show, but I had my standard concert outfit on, black suit, Hawaiian shirt. And he goes, you boy with the loud shirt, you. And I'm not even paying attention. My buddy elbows me. He goes, talking to you. Huh? And he's, you boy, get your ass up here. And these guys came out, and they grabbed me. They took me up on the stage. They sat me at this desk, and he asked me a bunch of questions. He got kind of goofing on me about my shirt, and, you know. So I ended up reacting and got good laughs. You know, the couple's making it on the desk, and Patty Russo, the vocalist, is fanning me with papers. And so then they thanked us. They had us take a bow. They took us off stage, handed us each a T-shirt, and sent us on our merry way. That was 99, I think, or 2000, 99. A couple of years ago, I'm doing a show out in Framingham, Mass. Or no, actually, it wasn't Framingham. It was the other place. I can't remember the name of the town, but it was the Framingham guy that was doing the show. And he had a lot of celebrities there, including Harley Race, who I kind of geeked out on too, although he's in a wheelchair now. And Meatloaf was going to be there. So I said, I got to go over and say hello. So I went over. His daughter was at the table, and he's not doing well now. He's got Parkinson's or something. And I went up to his daughter and I explained who I was. I told her that story. She's like, oh, my God, you got to come back and say hello to him. She goes, he's having a really rough time, but he will be thrilled to hear that story. Okay, so I go back later, and I go up and I introduce myself, and I started telling the story, and he stops me dead, and he goes, your name's John, isn't it? And it blew me away, because he was just a quality guy, and he remembered all these little things with thousands of people he met, you know? So that's my long story. Nice guy.
Francine.
I just want to say that I don't want to go after John anymore. He always has the
best. A weird life, that's all.
Well, I geek out a lot when I meet my comic artists that I like, because I'm a comic fan. But probably the worst case of geek out that I have had was not even in person. Was on the phone, because I didn't expect it. I wasn't even in a convention. My boyfriend was in a convention with his friends on Chicago, and I was living here in Vancouver, up in my business, doing my thing, and I get this call, and he's like, hey, hi, friend, someone wants to talk to you, and then pass the phone to freaking guy that I wasn't expecting. I didn't know anything. So he's like, Humberto Ramos in the phone. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And he speaks Spanish, and I speak Spanish. So I was like yelling in Spanish, like, I didn't expect this, I didn't expect this. Oh my God, I'm a fan. Like, I wasn't even able to say anything. I'm like, hi, I'm a fan. Your work is nice. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm such a stupid. How come I did that? But it was a fun because I wasn't expecting. I didn't know what's on a phone, was not even in real life. And it was my worst case of geek out. It was bad.
For me, when I got to meet John Byrne at Dallas, because he was never known to come out to conventions, and then all of a sudden he was at all of them for 1 year, and I finally just said I got to get some books signed, so I grabbed my Alpha Flight #1 because I didn't want, because I heard so many things about him being very crusty and
He can be
very impersonal, yeah. But there was nobody there. It was literally because I got to go. I had my own table, so he was there early, and I remember they had like this whole thing where originally he wasn't going to do the table and he wasn't going to sign, but somehow they got him to do it. He had a table. He sat there. I took up my book and I started asking him about his run on X-Men, and he told me that I'm continuing the story on a website, and I just turned into a complete fanboy. And at that point, I couldn't ask any more intelligent questions. I completely just locked up. Anyways, and then he just then I saw a little bit. He got, all right, when's he gonna leave? you know how when you can get that feeling when they're like done with you, and you're just like, okay.
The hook.
So, anyways, that's it for me. Anyways, Shane, thank you for joining us. Awesome question. Please stick around. Ask more. And you get a ticket.
Why did that happen, guys? Why would have you think like if you're a rational human being and like, okay, yeah, it's someone that do this, another might because it's on a TV show or whatever, or someone that you think is a great artist or whatever. But it's a normal person. You can talk with them. That's what your brain told you. But then when it happens, why when that real encounter happens, it's like your brain shut down and you became stupid. Have you think of why that happens?
I think it's just pure nostalgia. Like when you grow up and you see these people on the Magic Box, or you're reading their comic books, and it's something that captured your imagination, that took you to another place. It's that you're just gonna revert back to that 12-year-old. Like I know for a fact, one day I'm gonna take my kids to Disneyland, Disney World. We're going right to the Millennium Falcon, and I've already warned them that as I go up that ramp, I am going to de-age and blubber. I am going to blubber. It's gonna happen.
I told my wife that when we do it, she's got to pull me out of there. Chewy, punch it. You know what though? The first time I met Howie Chaykin, people always said he was a salty, crusty kind of guy. He's got that reputation. But I told him I was an art student. I just started art school and I wanted to do comics. And I asked him about the process for the way they did the shading in American Flag, because that was a thing at the time. And I had no idea. It was duotone. And I hadn't discovered that yet. He said, hold on, let me show you. And he pulled board out of his bag and the chemicals. And he took like a half hour, gave me a tutorial right there on the floor of the convention. And I never forgot that. He was so kind to me. And then years later, I reminded him of that. He's like, oh, my God, I don't remember that. But he's like, what are you doing now? I said, my fingerprint examiner. He goes, good, I'm going to pick your brain about that someday. So that's fine.
That's cool.
Can you delete my record? Jonathan Bark. Sorry, Jonathan. I'm going to try to see if I can nail this down. Jonathan Barkhusian says, hello, everybody from YouTube. Jonathan, ask a question. We want to get you in the draw, but thanks for coming out and watching us. Another new person, Anna Paula Polak. Thank you for watching. Anna Paula has a question.
Oh, Anna Paula, she's my friend. I love that girl. She's amazing.
Awesome. Biggest lesson you have learned during this pandemic? Anything inspiring? Francine.
I was just saying compliments about her, and then she comes with this question. Okay, no, the pandemic has been very tough, and I know we have to see like the good side. What I think is like the good. Look at the good side of what you have. Like, has been a tough moment, it's still being a tough moment, but for sure, we are way better than other people. I know I have had losses in my family, and I know a lot of people have had losses in their families as well. But it's like in the toughest moments is when you have to try to see the what was the good. But so look at what you have. Try not to look at what all the stuff you have lost, but try to look at the stuff that you still have and try to make the best you can with that, I think.
John.
When life throws you lemons, make lemonade. I've ended up using the pandemic times we were in lockdown to create more work than I've done in years. And I've gotten to spend more time with my kids than I have in a long time, too. Last summer, fortunately, in the spring, shortly after the lockdown began, and I was taking 2 weeks at home and then a weekend work and 2 weeks at home, it got warm fairly quickly. So I could spend a lot of time with my kids out in the yard and opened the pool and all that. And it was kind of a cool thing. And I was turning out a ton of art, as you can attest to. It just, go with it. There's always something, there's always a positive side. Use the situation to your advantage.
Mustafa.
Actually, kind of what Francine said. Like the first couple months after pandemic started, I was like, oh man, all this free time. I don't have to go here. I don't have to go there. This is great. And then like month 3 of it, I was like, oh, this sucks. And for like the 2 months after, like it got kind of tough, And then like I remember it was like July 1st, the calendar switched. I was like, okay, no more feeling sorry for myself. I'm just gonna realize the I don't know, the blessings that we have, that like the worst that society can be thrown at, and that we're gonna be okay. I don't know how inspiring it is, but like we're getting through it.
Jamie.
I would say finding a way to use the time in ways that's constructive. I use the time to work on my art style and refine some things and try and fix some things, and just use don't let just the time pass you by. I feel like it was kind of a gift in some ways for myself to work on some of the things that I'd been wanting to work on and just kept putting off. But also the sense I always felt really humbled because it's like, I get a chance to do artwork for a living, something that I only dreamt about, and I get to do this. It's really humbling to think that, but also I'm also really grateful for the things I do have, because there's a lot of people I know that had small businesses and those businesses are gone now. Those they were they had their jobs. Those jobs are gone now. And it's really tough to see, but when it comes to like drawing, creating, and things like that, I looked at it like this. You can create something and get criticized, or you can create nothing and become a critic. So I decided to be someone who put stuff out there and try and better myself in some way.
Awesome. For me, it's be thankful for what you got. It's not about the stuff. It's about the moments. Love your kids, because we're not getting out of here alive. And last but not least, for God's sakes, call your parents. Call your parents. Because if there's one thing I have, the unfortunate thing is we've lost a lot of the older generation. And I have lots of friends and family who've lost parents, grandparents, and they didn't even get to say goodbye. And if there's one thing that it made me value, is that my parents are still breathing. So give them a call.
You're lucky.
All I'm going to do is hear your voice. Anna Paula, you get a ticket.
Damn, Gert! That question.
All right, let's lighten the mood. Look, I played the role of John there for a second. All right, Ariel says you and I have that in common, Francine. There you go. You've got an ally.
She is Costa Rican as well, actually. Yeah.
No, she's Puerto Rican.
No. Ariel is Costa Rican.
Isn't she for Puerto Rico?
No.
Oh, really?
Why don't we ask her?
Holy cow.
Ariel,
Ariel, where
can
are
you
you
please
from?
confirm or deny? We have a debate. Where are you from? Only you can know.
No.
Well, Mustafa knows.
Brendan,
Steven and I have a debate.
Brendan is on a roll. What's the best advice you've gotten that has helped you succeed? Oh, John, you've already got one in mind. I know that.
The day I met Mike Zack, he said, "Don't get in this business." He says, "That's the best advice I can give you." I swear to God. I wish I'd listened to him at times. I don't know. Law school was right there.
Jamie.
Oh boy. Shoot, I keep getting advice. So for me to say one piece of advice is better than the rest of it is kind of tough. But it's funny that you mentioned Mike Zeck, because I was at a convention. I brought him some stuff from my portfolio, and I showed it to him, and he had some definite tips for me. And man, I tell you, that really was helpful. And then there was another artist at an artist alley, and I just happened to see him there, and I showed him my portfolio. Same day, I was talking to Mike Zeck, and he gave me some advice, and the advice he gave me, I actually ended up passing on to some other artists who have asked me questions on like Instagram or what have you. And it's like the things I just take in, I try to pass it on if I found it useful.
Mustafa.
So, I think the best, I've been thinking about this. The best advice I think I've gotten was from my dad, actually. Because when I first started, page rates weren't very high. I mean, they're still not really great, but they were really, for starting out, not very high. And I was like, Dad, I don't know, like, if I should, take this job. They're not really offering much. He's like, do it, take it. Show them what you can do, and bigger jobs will come. And so like that first year when I was like 18, 19, I was doing like 4 books at a time. And combined, they were okay, but individually, like it wouldn't have been enough. And I don't know. I see guys nowadays, like they're in their like early mid-20s and they're like, struggling to produce just a fraction of that. And I don't understand. Like if you want to do it, you got to do it. And that's what my dad taught me. And it wasn't really art advice. It was just life advice. Like I remember like having these opportunities to go to some like music festival and, go traveling and stuff. But then I had deadlines and I was like, well, I don't know if I should do it. And I was like, no, I'll just do both. I'll go to it. I'll bring the work. I'll finish it there. Like if you want to do it, do it. And don't just, half ass it, like commit to it.
Are we still on? Yeah, we're good.
I'm sure we're okay.
Francine.
Good night, little America.
It was not a full ass, it was just half ass, so we're still on.
Half butt sounds weird.
Yeah.
Half moon.
But then Steve was talking about the whiz earlier, so.
Francine, best advice you've gotten to help you succeed?
Well, it doesn't translate. I cannot do the translation perfectly because it's something that my mother always told me. But it's basically what Jamie was saying, that fake it till you make it. I could translate it like that. Like I was just she was just talking live about. She was just talking about life with me, and she was saying like how in life she had to many times pretend she already knew something to get a job, and she was not telling me go lie and say stuff, but it's like you have to fake it until you make it. You have to if they are gonna give you this job and you are like you don't know exactly, just say yes and just learn in the process. And okay. So I don't know if I have all the time like do it like that, but I have always appreciated that advice, and I think like the times that I put it on work has working. So good advice.
For me, I'm a sucker for movies when they do all those perseverance scenes, like the
musical montage.
Yeah, well,
the training montage.
The training montage.
Oh, boy.
Montage.
The Rocky Balboa, there's a scene there where he's talking to his son about how life punches you in the gut and it's about getting back up. Batman Begins, where Michael Caine always says, why do we fall? To get back up. I'm a sucker for all those things about perseverance, but it started for me when I was working at Nelvana, and I started as a junior storyboard artist on a little forgotten show, which seems to be a lot of them when I show my art, Mythic Warriors. And I was working on a scene with Zeus, and my AD came up to me and said, "Are you here to learn or are you here to screw around?" And I don't know why, but that when your boss comes and kind of calls you out like that, it kind of sticks with you. So that's why whenever we talk and we look at stuff about anything, you want to fail. Failure leads to success. So
And I'm on the way.
That's what I say to my kids. Whenever my kids are afraid to tell me when they've done wrong. So I always try to instill with them, it's better to be honest and learn from it, because it's going to make you stronger. And the only way you're going to be the best is to suck. So that's what I have to throw out there. Brandon, you're on a roll. We're dropping all sorts of tickets in for you. We've got 10 minutes left until the draw. Tobias from Germany says, good evening. Tobias is one of our resellers from Germany. And Tobias, I'm glad you're here. Feel free to ask a question. Let's get you a ticket. But I'm going to do a little show and tell. And if you guys don't mind. So for season 5, season 5, look at me sounding like a TV show. For series 5, we're doing all Star Wars all the time. And guess what, guys? For you early birds who got me some artwork, and I know some of you saw, Francine is working on some great stuff. She showed me 3 concepts. John has a recreation of the Star Wars #1, which is going to knock your block off. And Jamie just sent me, oh, there it is. Is it done?
No, it's getting there, though.
Look at that, guys. And all these originals are going to be available for sale, and they're going to become prints. We're going to be doing them in our usual limited 100 and fine art platinum canvas. And Jamie just submitted his latest villains, which will be coming out. May the 4th be with you. Do you have it there?
Let me see. I can open it up real quick. I wasn't sure if you were just going to share it from your screen.
Oh, I could do that too, but here, let me show you some of the stuff I have. So we've got some proofs back, guys. So I thought, let's do a tease. Look at that. Jamie Coker. Any Grand Admiral Thrawn fans? Look at that. And here you go.
Oh, yeah.
Cuddly critters. So here's some of Jamie's stuff, and there's his
Ooh, that guy is so cool.
and Mustafa, I have one of yours.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
I love the actor.
Yoda.
Oh, Yoda.
And then Bob, I don't know. I think Bob had enough of us, I guess, huh? But
I think I offended him. I hope not, but I bet I did.
but Bob did some Star Wars covers. So
Yeah, I remember that one.
6. Here's his variant of Princess Leia.
That's nice.
Here's his Yoda. And then Chad Harden, who couldn't be with us. Now, we had somebody ask a couple weeks back if we had any Slave Leia. Here's his Harley Slave Leia.
That's cool.
And then why settle for 1 when you have 2? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So those are the proofs that we got, and I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek. These will be available for sale. May the 4th be with you, ironically enough. And pre-sale 1st or 2nd week of April. So those are some Star Wars treats. So let me see if I can share this. Can I share screen? Here we go. Let me pull it up. It's a North American debut. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie, you want to talk about what the heck were we thinking on this one?
Well, Vader and Obi-Wan have a long and storied history. What started off as one relationship kind of developed into another, and then it evolved into one of extreme hate. And I just wanted to reflect that with Vader melting the old school Obi-Wan toy. The one with the little lever inside the arm, so you could actually extend the lightsaber.
The little blue trigger.
I light from the lightsaber, just pure rage. I just wanted so much rage in this one. That was the old concept.
The thing I love about this is when you sent me the concept for this, I was so in love with the concept. When you did the rough, it just didn't have the same energy, and I just kept hammering at you to go back to that, go back to the concept. And I just love like the effects on the lightsaber alone.
Man, I think I redrew this. Well, Vader by himself, I think I probably redrew it like 10 times. But eventually I got to a point where I liked what I saw, because I just wasn't in love with it for a while. But I'm at a good point now.
Tobias says, wow, I'm excited. I want the pictures ASAP. Tobias, I can tell you right now, we're going to be prepping our sales sheet for the resellers, and you guys are going to get first crack. So we'll let you know. And Luke Holbrook says, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that. Look at that. See, they're clamoring. All right, here, how do I get out of this? Oh, just like that. And also we'll do one last show and tell. So I also just got this proof in too.
Oh.
So
Megatron.
Yeah, this is the Series 6. Look, I got it in. Cool.
Oh man, I want that.
Oh, he looks very cool in platinum because it looks like the material of the robot, so it looks great in platinum.
Oh, see, I'm losing it. There we go. Oh,
I will say it kind of hurt a little bit to draw Optimus being ripped apart, but you do what you got to do.
Yeah, so we've already got 23 pre-sales on this one, my friend.
Awesome.
So a little show and tell. Mustafa, you've got we sent a couple of other ones off to the awesome and talented Sanju.
Cool.
You want to tease us a little bit about those two?
Let's see. One of them I can remember. The other one, it's yeah. Okay, so let's see. It's the ladies, the Star Wars ladies, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we have Leia, not in a slave outfit, actually her like cinnamon bun outfit. We have Ahsoka with her 2 lightsabers, and then we have Rey, just kind of being Rey. But they're posed like Charlie's Angels, so that'd be fun.
Yeah, that's very cool. And how's your Space Western piece coming?
It's still coming. I'll have to have a little preview for you next week.
That would be awesome. Looks like somebody's. There we go. So, we got 3 minutes till our draw, guys. So if you have any questions and you want to get a ticket, rifle them in there real quick. We got time for 1 or 2 quick questions. We can do a rifle round. Another thing, Luke loves the platinum. Yeah, the platinum looks sick, Luke. The platinums are sick. And Francine is working on a 3-piece. Are you able to show us something real quick, Francine?
I have it on my computer. I can share a screen. Give me just 1 second.
Yeah, no worries. And I can tell you guys, Rubenstein is painting, and his motif is the Sword of Skywalker.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've been really trying to get you guys to do more series so that people can latch onto it. But he said, give me some ideas. And I was throwing some ideas at him, and then he started coming back. And the thing about Joe is the more you talk to him and then he gets something in his head, it's awesome. And it's, Joe's paintings. We're talking to the choir here, but I just can't wait to see what he comes up with. And John, I can't. Please. I want to send that off to Sanju and get him to hit a home run. Also, I can announce as part of Series 5, the Star Wars theme, our Golden Age tribute will be Famous Funnies, Buck Rogers. So I saw some of them getting pulled together by our lovely content manager. We've got John's and Joe's are off getting colored, and she finished Bob's. And
Can I show mine?
Yeah, she has yours.
No,
And
but
Jamie,
the
I know Jamie was like,
funny.
look at that.
Okay.
There's a tease.
Okay. So this is what I'm doing for the Star Wars theme. And then you have like a bunch of characters under there. And this is because I really like Mandalorian, and the series is amazing, and Ahsoka is my favorite character from Star Wars. And then is Luke because he's Luke, so he has to be there, you know. He started all with the movies. But I really wanted to do, instead of Luke, Obi-Wan, because he's my favorite Jedi, but I have him here.
I can't wait till you get to the colors, because in my mind, when I look at this, I have like, I know we talked a little bit about the colors and what your vision was, but as soon as I saw this, I thought Art Deco, just with all the shapes going across. But and also with the two suns over between Luke and Ahsoka, you have an opportunity to play with oranges and having them blend into the blues.
I really like this little thing that is gonna be cross posters that you're gonna have like a baby Yoda chasing after the little thingy that he always is, but he's gonna be on the other poster. So yeah, I wanna do like things that cross like over the next one.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Frank, Vader is not ready to ship. Vader will be ready for May the 4th be with you. That's when it's shipping. All the Star Wars and the Buck Rogers, which are basically all homages from original Frazettas, are going to be ready for pre-sale mid-April and then shipped. May the 4th be with you. So feel free to DM us if you want any more information. There you go. There's Francine's.
Famous Funnies.
Very cool.
I really have a lot of fun doing this one, guys, and I love like how the original for this one is like there's a lot of white out there because I mess up sometimes.
And the cool thing we're doing different this month, guys, is for the Famous Funnies is there's going to be 4 variations. So whenever a reseller buys a pack of 50, they're going to get the standard trade dress. We're also going to have a 1 in 25 virgin variant. We're going to have a 1 in 25 sketch cover, and we're going to have a 1 in 50. So it's going to be a chaser blank cover. Brandon says, I need my shredder signed. Well, you're going to have a chance, Brandon, because Jamie's probably going to be coming with us to C2E2 in December. Christian, I just opened my package today. Amazing stuff. TMNT, Fantastic Four, and Vader Boba. Great job. Christian, thank you very much. We appreciate it, and thanks for joining us. Speaking of which, it's 4:52. We're 2 minutes late. We got to do our draw. And here comes the magic box full of names. The lovely Jamie. Thank you, Vanna. And the Oscar goes to Shane, Jonathan Eisen. Are you in the house?
Oh, hopefully Shane's on.
Come on, Shane. Tell me you're here. Say I win, I win.
I actually have something to show Shane. I'm doing a couple of commissions for him, so hopefully he's still on.
We'll give him a minute.
Yeah, come on, Shane.
Well, if he's still on, he's gonna get a prize, and you can show the commission.
And he gets, yeah. Hopefully he didn't sign off. Yeah. He messaged me during the show, and I was like, yeah, I'm actually doing a streaming thing, and then he pops up on here, so hopefully he's still here.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys are sharing it. I think we gotta what's a guy got to do to get picked? Okay.
That's more questions.
You got to get your name drawn, Brendan.
Ask that question next time.
It's give me the first one. It's give me the first one to say I win, and tell us which one they want. Here comes the next one. Luke Holbrook. Luke, are you still with us? I'm looking for either Shane or Luke. First one to say I win, I win. And let us know which one you want. Bueller. Brendan, are you not putting me in there because I said stop giving away stuff for free? Well, you're in here, Brendan.
Hey, there he is.
Hey! All right, Shane.
Hey!
Awesome.
Which one do you want, Shane?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, and Shane, let me know which one you want, and DM MBartist Allie on Facebook. Oh, Luke, I'm sorry, man. I need to know. Shane, you won, and apparently you get.
Okay, so now that he's on, I gotta show him.
Yeah, show the commission.
Yeah, I gotta show him. Okay, so all right, so let's see. This is a beast. This is gonna take me a while. I just kind of chipping away at it, but here we go. Here, it's Wolverine versus a venomized Hulk, and geez, it's taking forever, but I love it. It's so awesome. And one more. So I take a break from that one to work on this guy, Shredder.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so both are a lot of fun.
Are those your drawings, or are you just inking?
It's let's see, it's Ricardo Silva and Jose Luis.
Very cool. Shane says he'll take TMNT Attack. I wonder whose is that. I'm sensing some bias here.
It's a good print.
It's a great print. I still want to know who's throwing the throwing stars.
It's Shredder.
Oh, it's going up?
Yeah, it's going back at them, actually.
It's going back. That's cool. It's still a great print. It still sells. It's all good. All right, guys. And another shredder. Brendan wants another shredder. Guys, we've got 4 minutes left. Let's go around the table. No, Luke, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Next time, okay? Next time. I promise. Next time. And we'll get you on the list for Vader for sure. Okay, let's go around the horn because I know some of you got appearances coming up. Mustafa, what's your next appearance?
Well, I can talk about my previous one this past weekend. It was awesome. It was in my hometown here. Got to see like faces I haven't seen in covered faces that I haven't seen in like a year. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was a great turnout. Just so much fun. I'm not doing anything for this weekend. Next weekend, I'm going up to the Dallas area to do a comic store signing at Comic Warriors, and Ariel Diaz will be there as well. It'll be awesome.
Awesome. Jamie, I know you're going to be in the Mystery Machine. Where's it headed?
Yeah. This weekend, going to be in St. Charles, Missouri for a QuadCon show. Kind of looking forward to it. People I've talked to have nothing but nice things to say about it and the people that go to it. So this weekend I had to take off so I could finish working on this thing right here. The Skeletor here. Oh, let's see. Yeah, right there. I had to keep working on that. Man, I am no good at this camera thing, let me tell you. But yeah, I had to keep working on Skeletor there, and there's a companion Hordak piece that goes along with it. They're like facing towards each other, so yeah. I'll try holding that one up, but I'll tell you, I'm no good at this camera thing, dude. So yeah, Hordak there. Yeah. God, I suck.
No, you're doing fine, man. You're doing fine. And John and Francine, I'm guessing you guys, your first show is actually going to probably be when we go to West Palm Beach, right?
Looking like it.
Well, actually, I have one, but it's not in person. But I'm gonna be on TCAF, the Toronto Comic and Art Film Festival, and they always do it in person. But this year they are still not doing it in person, so they are gonna do it on online. I think it's 3 days. I'm looking for the information. Oh no, it's May 8th to May 15th, and yeah, I guess that I can just like share the link with you guys later when it's closer to May 8th, because it's going to be like an online festival with a bunch of artists. Pretty cool. It's a little bit more indie, and yeah, that's gonna be like my first convention appearance, even if it's online this year.
And I can also announce that we, as a group, we don't know specifics in terms of who will be there, but we will be at all the Fan Expo and Read Pop shows for 2021. New York, Chicago, Seattle, Miami, Orlando, Dallas, Boston. We just got to see if the Canadian shows will be online too. So we plan to be bound as soon as they take the shackles off and they open the borders. We plan to be gallivanting, maybe even once or twice in Jamie Coker's Mystery Machine, all over America.
When is Boston, Steve?
August. I believe it's August. There's 2 in June, 2 in July, 3 in August, and then Read Pop is doing all theirs back to back November, December.
December, yeah.
So real quick, last week we actually sold a couple of originals thanks to me doing a quick showing. So I'm just going to show a couple of originals, and then we're going to go. DM me if anybody's interested. I have a marker rendering. These are our original work. Marker rendering from John Rubinstein. I've got cover work, Chad Harden. We've got James C. Mulligan. Check this out. Here's a beautiful Rubinstein Degas. Let's see, who else do I got? Look at this painting here, guys. We were talking about Joe in terms of his time. Check out that painting. Look at that original. Very cool. So, guys, if you're looking for originals, we got lots. Here's Jamie Coker. Here's the Mandalorian original. So, if you guys are interested in any original art, feel free to DM me. We've got lots. So it's 5 o'clock, guys. Want to thank everybody for stopping by. Thank you guys for coming on, and basically everybody here stuck around for most of the 2 hours. Thanks for Bob McLeod for coming in for a little bit and hanging out with us. This Friday, the Lost Toy Box, we are going to be on earlier. We're going to be doing 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so our German friends can join us a little bit more. Also, Sunday, we are going to be on 24/7 ToyCon Germany. 10 a.m. Eastern time here. I hear that's 8 o'clock prime time over in Germany. And then until we see you next week, thanks, everybody. Good night.